Long story short, high-ranking doTERRA distributors have been ordered to pay civil penalties of $15,000 each to settle Department of Justice charges they violated the FTC Act and the COVID-19 Consumer Protection Act by promoting doTERRA products for the prevention and treatment of COVID-19. Today, we are talking about an update to a topic that I covered on this channel about a year ago. I want to give a little bit of background on this and just share this information if you have not heard this yet. So let's talk about it. Hi folks, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Kat. I'm a licensed registered dietitian nutritionist, and on this channel we like to dive into and talk about weight neutral, weight inclusive focused approaches to health, as well as diving into scammy and, in my opinion, unethical nutrition related businesses, products, mostly nutrition related MLMs, and other fear mongering nutrition related claims. So this is going to be kind of a shorter video just giving some background on this specific topic. So we recently learned that these high level doTERRA distributors, who are also healthcare professionals, are being fined for their product claims related to treatment and prevention and recovery of COVID-19. So last year, Mombi was sent a publicly advertised Zoom call login info for a webinar that was hosted by health professionals who are also top doTERRA distributors. So several of us were actually on the Zoom call, the webinar, whatever you want to call it, as it was going, and I was one of those. It was wild to see the claims being made in real time. I had tried to record it, but my recording, the audio portion, did not pick up because it was user error. But thankfully, Amanda MC was able to record it with the audio, and Amanda actually did an amazing reaction breaking down that webinar call. So it's a really good video, and I think that with her perspective as a registered nurse, I think provides so much value to the conversation and some of the concerns around that call. And so check that out if you have not already. But in addition to Amanda covering the webinar and the call, Savannah Marie did an amazing reaction to it. MLM Exit, I know, shared information about it, of course, essentially over MLMs as well. And then I also brought it up on my channel. And there were also others, I'm sure, who covered this, who were, so helpful in getting this information out. And so if I did miss anybody, and if you did a video or anything like that, please feel free to advertise that. I know sometimes it's a little bit you don't want to share your videos or talk about I did a video on this on someone else's channel, but please, because I think that this was a really group effort on anti-MLM, people doing work around this and getting this information out to report it to regulators. I think that played a huge role in kind of where we are now 1 year later. So the point of a lot of those reactions and coverage of this was to get information out for people to report this to the regulator so that something could be happening, because these were health claims. They were health claims being made that were really concerning. And in addition to this, so of course Mombi, she shared posts about this as well on her Facebook and her Instagram, and the doTERRA distributors were not happy. Shortly, actually, after the presentation ended, Mombi had shared some information about it, about the webinar, and also a PDF that they were sharing. They were talking about in the webinar about how to kind of even more in detail treat and go about doTERRA supplements along with COVID-19. It was just filled with false claims. And so they went on to attack social media wise. And they first had several husbands, kind of jump on the post, including threatening legal action. And when that did not work, they ended up mass reporting Mombi's posts. And she actually got one of the Facebook posts flagged. And interestingly enough, or kind of funnily enough, it was flagged for misinformation because she was sharing the misinformation about the webinar itself, but Facebook was like, that's misinformation. Thankfully though, they realized that it was not Mombi sharing the misinformation, it was her sharing the information about the misinformation. So anyway, Facebook reinstated that post. They did report her Instagram post of distributors, and so that one was taken down. And then they went back to the Facebook post and then used copyright infringement arguments against her. And I mean, the content was fair for critique under the fair use laws, so that shouldn't have gone through, but yeah. So after that, Truth in Advertising, which is an amazing consumer advocate group, they reached out to essentially over MLMs, who now essentially anti-MLM, and who then got them in contact with Mombi to give them the information for their article on the situation. And then Tina created this kind of compilation video that they had it accompany their article, and doTERRA distributors found out about that. They actually tried to silence Truth in Advertising as well by copyright striking that video. I am not going to play that video because, you know, they might still try to copyright strike my video, and I don't want that to happen. So I will leave a link to that article and where you can still see the video. As an overview, the call was in 3 main parts. So there was a COVID prevention part, there was a COVID, like what to do if you have it, and then what to do for long haul COVID. Okay, so Dr. Tina Wong spoke about COVID prevention basics, and she urged everyone to, quote, find your favorite immune oil that you have around and use it. Use it frequently. Use it in all 3 ways: internally, topically, and aromatically. My favorites are On Guard and oregano, which are 2 doTERRA essential oils. I mean, you can get them outside of doTERRA, at least the oregano, but yeah, of course they sell it. And then Dr. Ma spoke about what to do if you actually do test positive for COVID-19. She said, quote, a lot of these things that we use in doTERRA do both. They will kill the virus, stop the viral replication, as well as decrease inflammation. And also, quote, once you get COVID, you want to go a little above beyond the regular dose, which is 2 tablets twice a day of the LLV, which is a lifelong vitality pack. And she also said you can add some black pepper as well. And then to take it to the next level, there's the DDR Prime and the turmeric capsules. Load heavily onto it, 2 to 4 capsules within the first 2 hours of onset symptoms, or right when you test positive, you want to start loading up on it. And then Eliza Baycott, she was actually a nurse practitioner, and she had recommended the LLV Zendocrine Complex and the DDR Prime and turmeric. And so, yeah, there's more specifics in the article, especially from Tina, and then as well as in the reaction videos that are all linked down below. This is kind of an overview of stuff. So doTERRA has been sent letters in the past for health claims. They were sent a letter in 2014 for health claims made about their products treating, preventing, and curing health conditions. And then in April of 2020, the FTC also warned them specifically about deceptively advertising their products to treat, prevent, or cure COVID-19. So this is not anything like new. This is not unexpected to see come from distributors of doTERRA. And it's not the like company itself, corporate, who's making these kind of claims, but we see this like in MLMs in general, especially the health related ones. The corporate side of things, the company is encouraging their people. I mean, and maybe they could do it a little bit more, but they are trying to stay within like regulations, or trying not to like have any fines basically, right? And stay in the legal area of things. But distributors often, by trying to sell their products and just kind of growing their team, growing their downline, just spreading the news, they'll start to kind of make these health claims that maybe can come from their own experience, that might be like placebo related, or a lot of times with these nutrition and health related MLMs, they'll have this kind of product paired alongside a program that also encourages them to like drink more water and eat more vegetables, maybe get more sleep, and they might see benefits from that and then just assume that it's the product that is doing all the work. Or, you know, there's so many reasons why these kind of health claims come up, but this is not the first time that doTERRA has been related to some kind of legal issues regarding health claims, even though this was the fines were sent to the distributors. And I also wanted to say that when I saw the news of this, and this has been out for a little bit, but I was excited to see that, because with the background and everything, and knowing kind of how Tina heard about this, the Truth in Advertising, and basically the track record of Truth in Advertising and how regulators like pay attention to them, it's really cool to see 1 year later how that kind of like where we're at right now. So it was kind of cool to see that. At the same time, I did feel bad because just seeing how much power that I think anti-MLM as a whole can have. I wish that money was, if they had like, and I haven't looked into these distributors like individually or anything like that. I just know them from their health claims. I wish that those fines, that money could be, you know, spent on their families or, you know, in other more maybe productive ways. At that same time, I also have to look at like, why in anti-MLM, so many people in anti-MLM were so focused on reporting these health claims. And I love that, because so many people have been taken advantage of. So many people are currently being taken advantage of. When you see these kind of health claims and these kind of products that are sold because of these health claims, seeing people who are at very vulnerable places for a variety of reasons, and seeing the like just state of healthcare in my country in America, and concerns that I have around that, I can see why health claims are like running rampant. And a big concern that I have with that is that it can delay actual care, evidence-based care. It can reduce the trust in evidence-based health professionals too, and it can do just so much damage to the individual person who, you know, if they could have gotten more care, then they wouldn't have to like fall into these kind of health claims and kind of non-evidence-based practices. I've mentioned this here and there on my channel before, but my dad passed away from leukemia when I was in college. And I remember, and this was before that I knew what MLMs really were, but we had somebody who asked if, you know, was encouraging us to try this water. It ended up being an MLM that I found out years later, but to drink this water because it would help with his leukemia. And that's just, and at that time, like we said no, because even though I didn't know it was MLM, it still like screamed scam. But so many people get taken advantage of, and I know of other friends who have had people who are dealing with a lot of health issues and just want some kind of relief and some kind of support. And so health claims are something that I really like. Illegal health claims that are not evidence-based are just something that is really, really frustrating to me. And so while I do feel like I just wish they wouldn't have made those health claims at all, because then they could not have to worry about, and maybe they aren't worried about, I don't know, their income or whatever, but they didn't have to make those claims. And so I just, yeah. If anything, I hope this like shows other distributors that those kind of claims can be very dangerous, and it's just scary. And a big reason of why I cover health claims on my channel and do reactions about them and stuff is I work with a lot of people one-on-one who have received health claims and have chosen to be part of a specific company or program, and now wanting to kind of unlearn that, deconstruct more of the diet side of things, have a just neutral approach to food and healthy relationship with food. And so seeing people be harmed by health claims is just something that I am really passionate about talking about and reporting. Now, I say all that well, not just because, but there has been a little bit of conversation about how the doTERRA distributors being fined and everything, like that's not anti-MLM activism, and that it's anti-MLM distributor. I am not a fan of putting this kind of like there is no one leader in anti-MLM. There is no like royalty in anti-MLM. I know a lot of people like to use the compliment of like queen or, you know, whatever, but there is no like person who defines what anti-MLM activism is and what it is not. There are many ways to bring awareness to MLM related concerns and issues, and there's so many different ways in how to participate in anti-MLM activism. And so if you are one of the people who have reported health claims to the FTC, to the FDA, to Truth in Advertising, like, you are doing important work. And don't let anybody tell you that that work is not important and that that work is not anti-MLM activism. I appreciate every single person who has watched any of my videos, taken a claim from there and reported them to the FTC or the FDA or Truth in Advertising. That gets eyes. That gets the eyes of regulators. That is important work. And so when I see someone belittling that work, because we don't really know, this is not like the end of these doTERRA claims. The reporting that was done around these claims is like similar to what led to those letters in 2014 and 2020 to doTERRA corporate. And like, we don't have a say in what the regulators do with our reports. And Truth in Advertising is still trying to like continue this. So this might like very well end up with another letter going to corporate and having some kind of like thing with doTERRA corporate, right? So like, we don't know that yet. It is still important to report health claims, illegal health claims. And in addition, and just kind of on the topic of, you know, what is anti-MLM activism, one of the reasons why I left the MLM that I was a part of was because of reaction videos here on YouTube. I saw so much value in hearing watch people react to a distributor who was doing like things that I saw in my own company, not my own company, but in the company that I was a part of, and seeing them like go through reasons why that was an issue, right? That was so important for me to see multiple times through multiple different creators. That was really, reaction videos are how I learned about anti-MLM and why I ultimately left my MLM. And so I think that when we start to kind of try to say this is activism and this is not, I think that can be just not really helpful, because what's going to resonate with one person and help them either not join MLM or to leave MLM, that is going to be different from another person. And so I think there is room for a lot of different kinds of activism. And I see so much value in talking about these health claims and doing reactions to them and encouraging people to report. Right? We don't need to gatekeep what anti-MLM activism is. And at that same time, I just wanted to bring awareness to the situation. And as an example of this is like, largely, I think it's safe to say like the anti-MLM movement in general, community, I think played a role in this. And I think that's pretty powerful. So I just wanted to really encourage you to keep on reporting. I think that it is also important to just kind of remind yourself, like, don't focus, like, if you're worried about, like, if you're doing it right or whatever, like, don't let another person define what activism looks like for you based on your availability, your resources, your energy. Like, you are so appreciated even if you just, like, watch, because even watching helps with the algorithm to get this information out. And it's awesome if you can report some things, right? But I think even watching is helpful overall to anti-MLM as a whole. And I see the value in what that provides, and I don't take that lightly. That's it for this video. Please continue to, again, report those health and income claims. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And that's it. Remember, you can strive for health without subscribing to diet culture. I'll see you later. Bye.